The majority of people have no idea of what is about to happen. Peace, brothers and sisters who have arrived here on this channel. Based on everything that I have been studying about the Bible since these 7 years I have been doing these YouTube videos in Portuguese and now in English, based on everything that I have studied, based on everything that I have been seeing, based on everything that I have been watching, I can for sure say that it can only be here. 2023 has got to be the year of the beginning of the tribulation and also before the tribulation of our escape. Because everything, basically everything from the world, from the Bible, from prophetic standards, from historical standards, everything is pointing to now. And you can see when I'm gonna show you guys what is going on here, you can see that this is it. 2023 has got to be the year. It can only be here based on everything, or else basically a lot of things will be a huge, the biggest coincidence ever since the creation of mankind, because everything is pointing to now. So to begin this, let me show you a timeline since 2015 until 2030. So 7 years backwards and 7 years ahead of us. Let me show you what has been going on this previous 7 years and what's going to happen on the next 7 years. Because we believe that from everything that we have been studying here, that from 2015 until 2022, that was the 7 years of fat cows or 7 years of signs, the 7 good years that God gave us signs to show us what is about to happen on the earth. That is the tribulation, the Jacob's trouble that is about to happen on earth. This 7 years is followed by the 7 years of famine, the 7 years of lean cows, the 7 years of tribulation that has to start here on 2023 all the way until 2030. We previously thought that it had to start in 2022. However, we understand now that there is a 1 year gap, a 1 year transition time from the 7 good years towards the 7 bad years. And this shows us in world events as well. So the 7 good years, the 7 years of signs, started in 2014 and 2015 with the lunar tetrad, the 4 blood moons that happened in Jewish feasts such as Passover and Tabernacles, then again Passover and Tabernacles. This is a very rare event. It happens always when there's something going on in the world and something going on with Israel. So it happened with the First World War, it happened in the Second World War when the Jews declared their independence afterwards, and also happened when they recover Jerusalem back in 1967. So these lunar tetrads are very important because it's always showing signs about what's going on in the world and what's going on with Israel. And we believe the 7 good years began on 2015 because in 2015, September, the nations of the world signed the Agenda 2030 of the UN. So many nations of the world with the UN, the United Nations, they signed this deal for the world to be such as they are trying to make it so on 2030. So this agenda was signed by many nations. So we believe this is what showed us that this 2015 is what started the 7 good years. From that point on, we had the sighting of planet conjunctions that the news were telling us that it is the Star of Bethlehem. So it happened in 2016 as well. In 2017, we saw the Revelation 12 sign, which is the biggest sign in the Bible presented for us in Revelation 12. You can read by yourself Revelation 12, 1 and 2. And that major sign happened in the skies in 2017. That's why many watchmen, many people from the church was thinking that the rapture could have happened in 2017. But that was just the beginning of our sign, 7 years of signs that God was showing us. So after that, we saw a couple more conjunctions that the news told us that was the Star of Bethlehem. So the Star of Bethlehem were in the news. And also in 2021, 2022, we saw again another lunar tetrad because we discovered that the Jews are 1 month off in 2021 and 2022 as well. So because they are 1 month off, they missed this. But we, the church, with the watchmen, we discovered that another lunar tetrad happened in 2021 and 2022. From that point on, we started to see the events of the year of transition because they are major events that are pointing to the next 7 years, the 7 years of tribulation that was about to start. So in 2022, we saw that the invasion of Ukraine happened and that many people in the world, including the Pope and many bankers and also influential people in politics, they are telling that that's the beginning of what is going to be the Third World War. So the invasion of Ukraine, the Third World War, that's when it started. That's when it started to become more and more heated, the things in the nations of the world. Even at this moment right now, they are, because of this, talking about putting nukes closer and closer to the border. They are also talking about this chaotic event that will happen because of this war. There are also many conflicts happening worldwide with China and Taiwan, and also Israel and Iran. So there are many focal points of war events about to happen in this world that it's linked to this world war that started to get heated up in 2022 in the year of transition. Also in the beginning of 2023, still in the year of transition here, we saw the inauguration of the Abrahamic family house. It's a place in the United Arab Emirates that they created a temple, a Jewish temple, a synagogue of the Muslim, and also a Christian or Catholic church. So the unification of these Abrahamic religions was created there in this place to be the center point for the world religion signed by the Pope there. So the world religion was basically started there at that point on to be used later on, I believe, in these 7 years of tribulation. Also, we saw here in June 2023 that the World Health Organization, they created and released this health passport, this new digital certificate that will be used for the next problem that they will release very soon in order for them to create this world identity, which will be eventually the coming mark of the beast. Because in this way, they can control you, they can track you, they can pursue and find you everywhere. So this will become the mark of the beast, the QR code that will start to be the passport for them to check if you receive what they want you to get. And that QR code will eventually be in your hand or forehead, just like the Bible tells, through the adhesive patch that they are creating to release the toxins that they want to release in your body. So with that, they are creating the system for the mark of the beast, and the World Health Organization already created and launched in June 2023. And also we are seeing that now in August, the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they are creating this world digital currency, which will be the world currency to change from the dollar perspective to this new world currency perspective, because these nations here, they are working together and they have this ideology to persecute Christians. So if you see North Korea, if you see China, they have this focus on persecuting everything that is against the state. For them, the state is God, and that's what they are doing and bringing towards the world. And this world currency will be used as the world currency for the Antichrist, at least for in the beginning. So this will coming to replace. This is coming to replace the dollar, and this is coming to be the world currency for the nations that will be together with this ideology that will eventually persecute Christians. So it's exactly what the Bible tells us, that they are creating this world currency. This will be used to control people. Nobody will be able to buy or sell except those that have the mark. They accepted the mark of the nations that they created to use this unified currency. And if you are seeing right here in the transition year that we are still right now, we saw the preparation for chaos, the world war. We saw the world religion. We saw the coming mark of the beast system, and we are seeing they about to create this world digital currency. We only need them to confirm a covenant for 7 more years, and that's exactly what's going to happen in September. Because in September, the UN will uh, confirm this already covenant that they created in 2015 for 7 more years of the UN 2030 agenda. So many nations will confirm to accelerate this coming 2030 agenda for more 7 years. So exactly in September, for the Jews, it is the Feast of Trumpets. They will confirm this covenant for more 7 years, for 7 more years. And that's exactly what the Bible tells us with Daniel 7, Daniel 9 actually. He says, then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week or 7 years. So they will confirm a covenant. They will not create the covenant or sign the covenant. They will just confirm it. And that's exactly what's going to happen in September of this year. So precisely that seems to be the beginning of the 7 years of tribulation. That seems to be for us. It has everything to be the moment when the tribulation, the 7 bad years, will begin, because everything is pointing to that point in history. We are seeing everything happening here since the 7 years of good signs for us, for the church, for the watchmen. The transition year, we saw everything like that happening, and now we're seeing the confirmation for 7 more years in September of this year to be the September of 2015, 8 years ago, precisely 7 years plus one in transition. So this is perfect. This is perfect. And to complete this even further, in 2030, we are there 2,000 years since the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach, that happened in 30 AD. And we can prove that. I have videos proving that in 30 AD, that was when Jesus died and resurrected. So perfectly 2,000 years since his crucifixion, that's in 2030. And that's also the year 6,000 since the creation, based on the Jewish Karaite calendar, because they are a correct calendar, because the Jews hid about 210 years, and those Karaite Jewish, they fixed the calendar, and 2030 would be the year 6,000 perfectly, just like Genesis said. He worked 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. So the 7th day from 2030 all the way into 3030, that will has to be the millennial rest for 1,000 years for the earth, for the rest of the Sabbath. So perfectly, everything is aligning perfectly towards this situation that we are right now. We are seeing that they are preparing this 7 years of tribulation. They're going to confirm it. They already create everything that they need for it. We saw the preparations, we saw the signs, we saw the years. We are seeing the prophecy. We are seeing the historical facts. We are learning, and from everything that we have learned, this has to be it, because otherwise this will be the biggest and the largest conspiracy, the biggest coincidence since the creation of mankind. Because a book that was written 2,000 years ago, basically, or a part of the book that was written 2,000 years ago, said that this would happen, and precisely the way that it is written is happening just like it. So we are seeing perfectly like it was written. We cannot add or take from it, because it is a perfect scenario. It is very, very, and very unlikely that this would repeat again in a few years from now, because everything is already set and prepared for it. So what are the odds that the world will, in 2024, 2025, or longer, create another pact for 7 more years to confirm it later on? It is very unlikely, especially because they already created this pact in the Feast of Trumpets 2015, and now they are confirming in the Feast of Trumpets 2023. It is too much evidence to not believe that this is the moment of the tribulation. It is too much evidence, and we are about to enter now the biggest high watch time that we have right now, because we are in the beginning of July, and from tomorrow Starting tomorrow, the beginning of the full moon, we are going to enter the feast called the Feast of Weeks or Shavuot. Why do we say that? Because we know that the Jews are 1 month ahead of the true calendar based on the stars, constellations, and the sun and moon. So based on that, the Jews are 1 month in advance. So what they are calling the fourth month is actually the third month, and that's why we are about to witness the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Shavuot, and that's a very high watch date for the rapture. In fact, if you have been watching my channel for a long time already, you have been seeing that for a long time. I have been showing you guys that the Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks, is the highest probability for the rapture to happen because it's the beginning of the summer. There's a lot of prophecies with that. It is also the moment when wedding was supposed to happen. It is the only moment when the trumpet sound, the voice of God came, and God came in the mountain with the clouds to marry Israel back in the Exodus. So that's the only time that we saw the trumpet. And when the trumpet sounded, they could approach the mountain to marry God, but they were afraid. So the mountain shaked with the coming of God. So the world will shake when He comes to marry His church, and that's the time for marriage. That's the time that the Jews missed, and we, the church, will go in because we believe. So that's the highest watch date, the highest time frame for us to expect the rapture, and especially at this moment right now, we are seeing everything set up for the 7 coming tribulation years. It is very unlikely that this will pass. It's very unlikely that this will be used for nothing. This is all just preparation for what? Because it is all set up. It is already the world coin currency, the world religion, the world mark of the beast, the chaos, the war, the UFOs, also the alien deception that they will bring to deceive the people from thinking that it was a rapture. Even the confirmation for 7 more years, everything is set up. It is very unlikely that this will pass. So it means for us that we are very, very close to the rapture, very close to the wedding of the wedding supper of the Lamb, very close to deliverance of this earth, of these 7 coming years, because we are seeing everything ready, everything set up. So it could happen starting tomorrow. Tomorrow could be the beginning of the time frame where the rapture will happen. It could be tomorrow, it could be the next following day, the 4th of July. That could be it, because there are movies talking about the Independence Day alien invasion. So it could be the 4th of July, it could be the 7th of July, because that 7/7 and 2023 adds up to 7, so 777. It could be any time starting tomorrow until the middle of July. That's the time frame that we have to expect the rapture in this Shavuot Feast of Weeks time frame. So it could happen at that moment. It also could happen when the Jews are calling the Feast of Wine, just like Dr. Barry are saying, that is July 26th, so 7/26. It could be there. We don't know the date precisely or the hour, but we know that everything is set up, everything is ready for the church to leave, and then they start the 7 years of tribulation, because this is it. It has got to be it. It can only be it, because otherwise many prophecies, many patterns, they will start to crumble down. There will be we have to look at everything better. Perhaps we will have knowledge of a huge history change. I don't know. It's very unlikely that this changes, because it has got to be it. We are seeing the coming tribulation. We are seeing the time frame to be right now, and I hope that you that are watching this video is ready. How do you get ready? By belief. If you believe, you are ready, because we are not going to be raptured because we're better or worse than somebody else. We're not going to be raptured because we are better than the first church in the year 30, 40 AD. We're going to be raptured because we are living in the time of the rapture, and we believe. Because of belief, because of we have faith, that's what makes us ready. Because if we believe, we live accordingly to what we believe. So belief is the key thing for you to have to be prepared to leave this earth. If you believe, you are ready. And that's why it's very important for you to understand this, to get ready, and to uh, also warn others about this, because we are approaching the final moments of this time that the church has in this earth. I hope that you that are watching this is about to leave as well, is getting everything ready, preparing information for those that will be left behind, because there will be many that will be left behind. Also preparing some resources for them, because otherwise they will be uh, clueless of what's happening. They will be in panic mode, in desperate mode. That's not helpful. So I hope that you are preparing for yourself, believing for yourself, praying for others, and also preparing for others, because we are about to leave this earth. I hope that you are ready. I hope to be with you very soon in the clouds, perhaps tomorrow. I'm very excited about this. Perhaps tomorrow. So I hope to see you guys very, very soon in the clouds. Otherwise, we're going to be here still watching until the day comes. Amen. Maranatha. If you're the church, the church says Maranatha. The Spirit says Maranatha, come, Lord Jesus, come. Maranatha, I hope to be with you guys very, very shortly. Perhaps tomorrow. God, if God pleases, it is tomorrow. Maranatha.